Suddenly, everything erupted in chaos on a humid summer evening when police lights flashed red and blue incessantly outside. Desperately, a startled crowd gathered along the sidewalk, whispering fearful speculations as two officers wrestled quite violently, a distressed black nurse. "Stop resisting," one officer barked, while the other shouted, "Hands behind your back," completely ignoring her urgent pleas for mercy. People gasped, cell phones recording every second, capturing the raw tension of an event that felt increasingly unjust and terrifying. Her name was Cassandra Rhodes, a dedicated emergency nurse heading home after a grueling shift, stethoscope still around her neck. She had stopped upon noticing a collapsed figure in uniform near the patrol car, desperately trying to administer swift assistance. Little did she know, her compassionate impulse would trigger accusations, culminating in the rough handling that now completely transfixed bystanders. "Please let me go," Cassandra pleaded, pain radiating across her wrists as cuffs pressed tightly, leaving her helpless and afraid. Officer Reed, a stocky man with tense eyes, maintained his grip, snapping, "We have reason to suspect your criminal involvement." His partner, Officer Miller, hovered nearby, glaring down at Cassandra's ID badge, muttering, "So why were you touching him anyway?" Fear flickered in Cassandra's eyes, but she mustered courage, replying, "I'm an ER nurse, and he clearly needed help immediately." The crowd murmured in disapproval, some shouting, "She's telling the truth," while others recorded every heated moment with disbelief growing. Officer Reed shook his head stubbornly, ignoring reason, convinced that Cassandra was interfering with a police scene unlawfully and suspiciously. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream erupted from inside the police cruiser, where the collapsed man clutched his chest in intense agony. Witnesses realized he was none other than the esteemed police chief Bradley Porter, revered throughout the city for long decades. Eyes widened in shock as the crowd watched him struggle, his breathing ragged, complexion pale, his sweat pouring uncontrollably down. Officer Miller's expression shifted from aggression to alarm, stammering, "Chief Porter's down," while Officer Reed froze, completely and utterly speechless. Cassandra yelled, "Unlock these cuffs right now if you want me to save him." Tears mingling with her rising desperation, Reed fumbled for the key, hands shaking, realizing they had mistakenly apprehended the very person who could prevent unthinkable tragedy. Once freed, Cassandra dashed to Chief Porter's side, checking vitals, swiftly unbuttoning his shirt and applying calculated, rhythmic chest compressions. Miller knelt beside her, panic etched on his face, asking, "What can I do?" Desperate for any immediate possible instruction. Without pausing, Cassandra instructed, "Call for backup, get me an AED, and keep everyone back," her voice resonating calm authority. As Miller radioed for emergency support, Officer Reed stood trembling, deep guilt flooding him for his earlier misjudgment and hostility. He whispered, "I'm sorry," though the words barely reached Cassandra, who was too focused on compressions and Chief Porter's survival. The crowd watched, hearts pounding, tension electrifying the air, as Cassandra expertly continued CPR, counting under her breath, sweat dripping. "Come on, Chief, stay with me," she muttered, voice cracked with emotion, fully aware every second was so precious here. At last, an ambulance screeched onto the scene, dedicated paramedics rushing forward, but Cassandra refused to relinquish her patient immediately. She coordinated with them, shouting medical jargon, demonstrating immense knowledge, her hands never leaving Chief Porter's sternum until absolutely necessary. A paramedic, Elsa, called out, "We've got a pulse," prompting relieved cries from the onlookers. tears flowing in overwhelming gratitude. Chief Porter coughed weakly, eyes fluttering open, and for a split second, he glimpsed Cassandra's intensely concerned face hovering above. He rasped, "Thank you," before slipping into oxygen-starved unconsciousness again. But his vitals remained stronger, thanks to Cassandra's intervention and determination. Miller guided the paramedics to load the chief into the ambulance, while Cassandra climbed inside, refusing to ever abandon him. Officer Reed stuttered, "Please, you should go with them," guilt and regret twisting his features as he begged her assistance. Doors slammed shut, sirens wailed, and the ambulance sped off, leaving onlookers in a mixture of shock, relief, and outrage. People talked among themselves, denouncing the officer's racial profiling, praising Cassandra's heroism, and vowing to make the video instantly viral. Inside the ambulance, Cassandra monitored Chief Porter's heart rhythm, instructing the paramedics to prepare the fourth fluids, oxygen and defibrillator pads. Elsa marveled, "You're incredible under pressure." While Cassandra maintained composure, responding, "He's not out of danger yet, focus on procedure." The vehicle swerved, urgent sirens blaring, adrenaline pumping through everyone's veins. As they raced toward City Hospital's bustling emergency entrance, upon arrival, medical staff rushed out, taking over the gurney. But Cassandra stayed close, briefing them rapidly on all findings. A doctor recognized Cassandra, exclaiming, "Rhodes, you're off duty, but we need you," immediately leading her directly into trauma bay. Cassandra complied, adrenaline fueling her exhaustion, taking charge alongside the medical team as they stabilized Chief Porter's extremely precarious condition. Hours passed in tense vigilance, the fourth medications adjusted, scans reviewed, blood tests evaluated, until finally, Chief Porter fully regained consciousness. He blinked under harsh fluorescent lights, disoriented but alive, focusing on the figure beside his bed, Cassandra, exhausted yet relieved. With a trembling voice, Chief Porter asked, "Who saved me?" And a nearby nurse answered softly, "Cassandra Rhodes." "Chief, remember?" Memory flickered in his eyes, recalling faintly the moment he saw her, the moment he felt his heart dangerously faltering. He whispered hoarsely, "Thank you," stretching out a hand, and Cassandra gently clasped it, a swirl of emotions coursing through. Meanwhile, outside the hospital room, Officer Reed paced anxiously waiting for news, deeply shame gnawing at his conscience relentlessly. Miller approached, placing a hand on Reed's shoulder, saying, "We messed up big time, man," guilt evident in his tone. Reed nodded, eyes downcast, muttering, "She was just trying to help, and I unjustly treated her completely like a criminal." The hospital corridor bustled with activity, yet a tense hush enveloped the officers. Gr appling with remorse. Uncertain how to proceed, Cassandra emerged, shoulders slumped from exhaustion, stethoscope swaying, and both officers looked up, deep remorse visibly etched onto their faces. Miller cleared his throat. "We're so sorry, Miss Rhodes," while Reed stepped forward hesitantly, voice trembling. "I apologize deeply for everything." Cassandra observed their contrite faces, anger and hurt warring within her, but she exhaled slowly, nodding, choosing fragile, temporary understanding. "I need to see if he's stable," she said quietly, sidestepping them, focusing on her responsibility over lingering personal anger. Inside Chief Porter's room, monitors beeped steadily, and the doctor nodded approvingly, indicating that Cassandra's swift actions saved his life. Porter managed a weak smile, gesturing Cassandra closer, murmuring, "You did more than save me, you saved my entire faith." His eyes brimmed with gratitude, referencing the conflict raging outside, the protests, the harsh policing, and one nurse's unwavering compassion. Cassandra blinked back tears, whispering, "I just did my job," though her heart thundered with conflicting emotions and lingering trauma. Over the following days, the city buzzed with the viral footage, showing the moment Cassandra was harassed, then publicly exonerated. News outlets scrambled for interviews, and online debates exploded, dissecting the underlying deeper issues of prejudice, policing, and racial tensions. Some labeled Cassandra a hero. Others highlighted that she never should have endured such unjust treatment in the first place. Meanwhile, Chief Porter improved steadily, requesting a public press conference from his hospital bed to address the incident and aftermath. Cameras flashed inside a small conference room, reporters firing questions, tension high as the battered chief spoke from his wheelchair. "I want the world to know Cassandra Rhodes risked everything for me," he began, voice trembling with unshakable, genuine gratitude. Cassandra stood near the back, uncomfortable with the spotlight, but drawn by a deep sense of accountability for her profession. Porter continued, "She was assaulted, mistreated by my own officers. Yet she saved my life without any hesitation or resentment." Questions erupted, "Chief. What does this mean for police accountability? Will the officers be disciplined? Cassandra, how do you feel?" Cassandra inhaled shakily, stepping forward to the microphone, eyes scanning the crowd, voice steady despite the immense personal turmoil within. "I'm not here to condemn everyone in uniform, but I won't excuse what exactly happened either." She began very calmly. "I simply saw a human in danger. If we truly value life, we need to address bias and genuine accountability." Reporters scribbled furiously. Cameras flashed again, and Chief Porter nodded solemnly, vowing reform, promising a thorough investigation into internal misconduct. Reed and Miller stood quietly at the side, their expressions mirrors of regret, uncertain if forgiveness was even remotely possible. After the conference, Reed approached Cassandra with Miller trailing behind, their postures deeply humble and eyes pleading for genuine absolution. Reed said quietly, "I know words aren't enough. We reacted on bias, and we truly almost cost the chief everything." Miller added, "Please believe we're remorseful. I can't erase our actions, but I can honestly learn, change, and make amends." Cassandra studied them both, remembering the initial fury, the overwhelming fear, and then their desperate request to save Porter's life. She sighed, "I accept your apologies. But real change means working so nobody else endures that unjust treatment ever again." Reed nodded, tears threatening to appear, and Miller extended a symbolic handshake, which Cassandra slowly accepted, forging a cautious truce. Days stretched into weeks, and as Chief Porter recovered, critical departmental reviews intensified, revealing long-standing systemic lapses in training procedures. Public pressure mounted for accountability, forcing the department to suspend several officers and initiate comprehensive mandatory courses on cultural sensitivity. Reed and Miller voluntarily stepped forward, testifying that unconscious biases influenced their decisions, offering to undergo extra remedial training sessions. Cassandra watched from afar, grappling with a complex swirl of emotions, relief that changes were happening, anger at delayed progress. Sometimes she woke at night, heart pounding, remembering the humiliation of being pinned down, the weight of suspicion crushing her. Yet images of saving Porter's life balanced the trauma, always reminding her of the nurse she was trained to be. Eventually, the day came when Chief Porter fully recovered, organized a departmental ceremony to publicly honor Cassandra's heroic, life-saving actions. The hall was packed with uniformed officers, city officials, and community members, eager to witness this unprecedented moment of reflection. Cassandra arrived in modest attire, still somewhat uncertain if she truly wanted recognition, but determined to see this through regardless. Chief Porter took the podium, emphasizing new reforms, then turned to Cassandra, presenting her with a heartfelt special commendation plaque by risking her own safety. Cassandra Rhodes demonstrated the true meaning of service, Porter announced, applause echoing through the hall. Cassandra accepted, her eyes darting toward the uniformed ranks. Noticing Reed and Miller clapping vigorously, faces alight with genuine admiration, she felt a flicker of hope, believing that perhaps this moment might lead to deeper conversations and meaningful lasting transformation. After the ceremony, community leaders approached Cassandra, thanking her, inviting her to speak at critical forums on healthcare and policing. Though hesitant, she recognized an opportunity to advocate for fair treatment, improved training, and collaborative efforts between communities and authorities. Concurrently, reporters camped outside her apartment, constantly prompting Cassandra to deliver a overly heartfelt statement. "I'm not a political pawn. I'm just a nurse who honestly did what was right." Cameras flashed, questions swirled, but she offered no further comment. In time, Cassandra's routine returned, but life never felt the same. The city regarded her differently, some revering, others pitying. She continued nursing at City Hospital, receiving smiles from patients who recognized her from news stories, their gratitude deeply profound. Occasionally, Reed or Miller visited, offering updates on ongoing departmental shifts, bridging an unlikely friendship forged through turmoil and redemption. One afternoon, Chief Porter himself stopped by in plain clothes, walking gingerly but smiling, holding flowers as a heartfelt token. He offered them to Cassandra, voice warm. "This is just a small expression of gratitude for truly everything you've done." Cassandra smiled politely, touched by his gesture, though part of her remained guarded, unable to forget the initial painful arrest. Porter offered a gentle apology. "I can't change the past, but I'm committed to ensuring nobody else ever experiences that." She thanked him for acknowledging it, softly saying, "I appreciate your efforts, Chief." Genuine sincerity evident despite her guarded tone. As weeks turned into months, tangible improvements emerged: institutional diversity workshops, community outreach programs, and stricter regulations against racial profiling. Cassandra remained cautiously optimistic, becoming a reluctant face of progress, fielding interviews, her perspective shaping policy discussions in unexpected ways. City Hall invited her to speak at a police reform panel, alongside Porter, who championed her insights before influential politicians. Nervous but resolute, Cassandra addressed them, detailing real-life consequences of biased policing and advocating empathy-based training alongside strict accountability measures. Policymakers took notes, some nodding, others skeptical, but overall, her testimony deeply resonated, reinforcing the urgent need for structural changes. Through these actions, Cassandra found a renewed sense of purpose, transforming her trauma into a profound catalyst for community healing. She never asked for fame, but discovered her voice carried significant weight, inspiring people across cultural lines, bridging social divides. Meanwhile, the footage of her arrest and rescue remained emblematic, used in training seminars as an example of misconduct's cost. Instructors highlighted Cassandra's bravery, demonstrating how crucial split-second decisions can uphold or shatter the fragile public's trust in law enforcement. Eventually, the department extended an official apology, acknowledging systemic failures, inviting Cassandra to consult on revising critical protocols for emergencies. She hesitated, reflecting on the irony, but accepted, hoping her expertise could prevent another potentially catastrophic incident fueled by prejudice. Meeting after meeting, Cassandra politely but firmly shared input, ensuring first responders would recognize medical interventions as crucial, not suspicious. Gradually, new guidelines emerged, instructing officers to request ID politely, observe crucial health signs first, and coordinate with medics immediately. The memory of that humid summer evening still haunted Cassandra, but seeing progress alleviated some pain, offering faint redemption's glimmer. Chief Porter officially commended her yet again, this time before a broader council, citing her sustained efforts in driving reform. Standing beside him, Cassandra remained humble, feeling the weight of her astonishing journey from unjustly cuffed suspect to guiding light. Outside, protest signs had largely disappeared, replaced by constructive dialogue. Nevertheless, Cassandra knew the fight for true equality was ongoing. She spoke to youth groups, nursing students, and fellow medical professionals, emphasizing vigilance, compassion, and unwavering dedication to every life. In heartfelt sessions, she recounted how quickly prejudice overshadowed her credentials, urging listeners to challenge assumptions and practice true empathy. Meanwhile, the police department installed body cameras, launched internal dialogues, and occasionally invited Cassandra to speak about inclusive emergency protocols. Reed became a proponent of bridging gaps, often crediting Cassandra's influence for his transformation, forging alliances with local community leaders. Miller established a mentorship program for incoming future officers, integrating empathy training, hoping fewer mistakes would tarnish the badge's integrity. Chief Porter, fully resuming duties, oversaw these reforms personally, ensuring no other nurse, doctor, or civilian faced similar prejudice again. A year later, local headlines praised city hospital and law enforcement collaborations, citing the black nurse who significantly changed policing. Cassandra read those words with humility, recalling every tear, every painful, humiliating second, but also the triumph of eventual resolution. In a televised interview, she said, "I'm no hero. I'm just someone who truly refuses to ignore someone in need." Her voice wavered momentarily, memories flashing of the violent takedown, but she steadied herself, determined to speak for collective unity. Behind the scenes, Cassandra continued her shifts, comforting families, always treating emergencies, never forgetting that compassion ultimately triumphs over discrimination. One evening, she found a handwritten note in her locker. "Thank you for restoring faith in our struggling police force." It was unsigned, but the handwriting looked like Miller's. Cassandra smiled, folding it carefully, feeling a sense of peaceful closure. Time passed, yet the city remembered that dramatic night. A collision of prejudice, courage, and a life miraculously saved unexpectedly. Cassandra's story circulated in nurse gatherings, reminding them that clinical excellence must be paired with unwavering resilience against societal barriers. One day, a young black nursing student approached her, eyes glowing, saying, "You showed me that fear shouldn't stop us." Cassandra hugged her, tears brimming, realizing the profound ripple effect that one moment of courage could have across entire generations. Not everyone embraced the changes. Some officers resigned, protesting excessive political correctness. But overall, the cultural tide steadily continued shifting. Cassandra learned to navigate unexpected attention, her once ordinary life completely transformed by an incident that almost ended in unspeakable tragedy. Her courage had begun a chain reaction, compelling officials to confront bias and compelling communities to address long ignored inherent tensions. She wasn't alone. Grassroots activists, civil rights groups, and medical professionals joined forces, igniting a sustained, broader push for fairness. Eventually, national outlets picked up the story, shining a greater spotlight on Cassandra's city, revealing a microcosm of America's struggles. Cassandra gave interviews on national morning shows, repeating her core message: I acted because someone needed help, plain and simple. Hosts praised her compassion and resilience, yet also pressed her on crucial policy details, bridging medicine and law enforcement perspectives. She answered with humility, reinforcing that real solutions demand cooperation among medical staff, police officers, lawmakers, and most importantly, communities. Back in her apartment, Cassandra watched reruns of these segments, feeling disbelief at her newfound platform, yet embracing its necessity. The next morning, she resumed patient rounds, greeting Miss S. Alvarez, who recognized her from television, tears of gratitude shining brightly. Thank you for reminding us that goodness exists, Miss S. Alvarez whispered, gripping Cassandra's hand, and the nurse felt renewed purpose. Step by step, the city she loved constantly evolved, not perfectly, but tangibly, and Cassandra remained an integral inspiration therein. Her uniform became symbolic of healing and courage, a reminder that one individual's actions could spark far-reaching waves of accountability. Community members organized appreciation events, celebrating everyday nurses and first responders who rose above prejudice, forging deeper trust between citizens. Eventually, Cassandra managed to forgive, at least partially, the officers who harmed her, acknowledging their honest, genuine willingness to learn. She still carried scars, but recognized that real growth required letting go, channeling productive energy into building better systems instead. One rainy evening, she revisited the exact spot of that infamous night, remembering the chaos, sirens, and her own screams. Wind rustled discarded newspapers, the faint echo of memory lingering. But this time, she stood tall, unafraid, resolute in purpose. Under that same streetlight, she silently reaffirmed her vow to heal whenever possible and to tenaciously fight injustice when necessary. Walking away, she felt the storm's droplets on her skin, each drop a testament to cleansing, rebirth, and renewed beginnings. News stations occasionally ran follow-ups, referencing the nurse who saved the police chief, highlighting ongoing departmental changes and community projects. Cassandra watched only briefly, preferring direct action over public spectacle, though grateful that collective awareness had indeed sparked crucial dialogues. Eventually, her story became legend, the black nurse accused by cops, only for them to discover she saved their chief. Parents told their children about Cassandra Rhodes, illustrating her resilience and unwavering kindness, ensuring future generations learn from past mistakes. In hospital corridors, her colleagues occasionally teased, "Celebrity on call," though she only chuckled, completely preferring to focus on patients. Late at night, she'd sometimes wonder if the transformation was permanent or just a phase, but her hope stirred within. She recalled Chief Porter's labored breathing, That moment she wrestled free to perform CPR, every heartbeat a testament to perseverance. That memory reaffirmed her faith in humanity, because even when darkness loomed, a single act of compassion could illuminate everything. Years later, Cassandra would reflect on these events, acknowledging the imperfections in gradual ongoing reforms, but celebrating remarkable, undeniable progress. She had become a symbol, an ordinary woman thrust into extraordinary circumstances, bridging divides, protecting lives, and challenging deep-rooted prejudice. Sometimes skeptics claimed it was all sensationalism, but the own departmental records showed tangible policy shifts directly tied to Cassandra. Officer Reed was quoted saying, "She changed my outlook," while Miller described her guidance as the wake-up call we needed. Chief Porter upheld her as an example of moral leadership, a figure who transcended fear to preserve life above all. In another public address, he admitted personal biases once blinded him, recognizing the nurse who restored both heart and hope. Cassandra, seated in the audience, felt tears gather as she absorbed Porter's admission, a reminder that empathy truly transcends status. The mayor recognized her publicly, conferring a Vital City Award for humanitarian service, calling her the heartbeat of our community. Humbled, Cassandra accepted, but her smile conveyed gratitude on behalf of all nurses overlooked, all individuals wronged, yet remarkably resilient. She spoke briefly. "We can't fix everything overnight, but we can keep trying. One saved precious life at a time." Thunderous applause greeted her, reminding everyone that a single voice, unwavering in crisis, could catalyze monumental changes for lasting good. Later, Reed and Miller approached, truly thanking her again, and she smiled genuinely this time. Sensing their transformation was real, they promised continued advocacy, forging dialogue with minority communities, officially vowing never again to let prejudice overshadow their sworn duties. Cassandra believed them, because she had witnessed their previously darkest moment, yet also their newfound willingness to embrace the light. Months rolled on, and the city reported noticeably fewer complaints of harassment, more positive community police interactions, and stronger mutual respect. Cassandra took no full credit, but she recognized her role in prompting deeper reflection, grateful that seeds had finally sprouted. Years stretched onward. The narrative of black nurse harassed by cops, then saving the police chief's life, etched forever. Medical textbooks occasionally referenced her as a case study in ethical obligations, overshadowing personal risk, urging unwavering commitment to care. Police academies used her footage, teaching cadets to discern genuine help from perceived threat, advocating essential caution paired with humanity. Cassandra's name became synonymous with bridging professional duty and moral integrity, proving that unwavering compassion can outweigh deeply institutional biases. Eventually, she penned a memoir, proceeds directed towards scholarships for minority nursing students, hoping to uplift others following her path. Critics accused her of capitalizing on tragedy, but Cassandra donated every cent, solely focused on inspiring unity rather than profit. Over time, the public fascination waned, but the reforms persisted, and Cassandra thrived quietly, continuing her work with renewed faith. She often passed police cruisers without flinching, a subtle testament to healing. Though she never forgot the crucial lessons learned, friends occasionally teased her about a possible movie deal, but Cassandra shrugged, content to remain a humble, real-life example instead. Her greatest reward lay in every patient she stabilized, every frightened child she comforted, every life she touched with compassion, because, in the end, saving Chief Porter was never about glory, but about preserving humanity's flickering light against looming despair. And although Cassandra's story began with humiliation and injustice, it culminated in hope, bridging differences through unwavering dedication and empathy. Thus, she carried on, an unsung heroine in Scrubs, healing wounds both physical and societal, proving one truth remained unshakable. When compassion leads, barriers fall, and even in the face of prejudice, a single brave act can truly reshape everything. No longer just black nurse harassed by cops, Cassandra Rhodes became the unwavering testament that genuine care transcends any division. Her story echoed in countless hearts, an unforgettable reminder that faith in human decency can overcome even centuries of oppression. And so, with each dawn at City Hospital, Cassandra Rhodes rose again, a living testament to compassion's power beyond measure. For in saving one life, she reignited an entire city's conscience, healing wounds that ran deeper than anyone ever imagined. Thus ends the tale of Cassandra Rhodes, harassed for helping, then hailed for healing, proving empathy conquers division and hate.